For Team Liquid so far in this group, Liquid still without a win. Incredibly close versus the younger Brazilian squad in Furia, of course. That one going into overtime in the third map. It was wild. It was action-packed. And I can only hope that this series delivers the same. But I think it will. So buckle in, folks. It's Team Liquid and MIBR starting on Overpass.
It's going to be a tight series. I really do think it's going to go to 3 maps. The two teams here are both kind of punching below their weight right now, slightly struggling. MIBR just slightly ahead, but Liquid we know are good enough to beat them. Plus they have so much experience that, you know, they're missing a few shots. They could still make it up in tactics and reads.
100%.
Pressure here, yeah, into the stairs. There is a concave of CTs around them. Nafly is going to be the most important figurehead.
Yeah, Nap and then Twist inside of the bathrooms, but they actually circumvent him, completely avoid him, and that's going to give him a little bit of space to play. Now, it's threatening for Twist that he loses the teammate behind, but he still has a chance to move forward, and in doing so, he stops that bomb, goes in for a second kill versus Taco, but that's where his play comes to an end. Now, all 4 of MIBR's members have been tagged to near half health, so it's not impossible for Liquid to get back into this. Certainly helps when the boost pans out, but Taco, little drive-by, Elige back at bat. Of course, again, doing the damage. He's got 2 kills to his name and knows exactly where the last members are at. Taco tries to sprint into the open. Elige hits it, reloads. No, swaps guns, in fact. And he's looking for something. Looking for the kit, the smoke. The smoke was stuck outside of the map, just in the corner. So now, even though he has the kit, he still doesn't have that cover. So he's just going to try to stick this. Fur comes out and understandably headshots him off of it. Unfortunate that the retake equipment falls short.
Yeah, just out of reach. That's so sad. Now, Twist's position in the bathrooms is only bad if they knew where he was. But since they didn't, he was able to get some of this kind of lurk kill. And Nafly receding was such a smart move in the first place. But MIBR took him out and then performed this crunch on the A site that they absolutely should have. They had every right to do so. So smart move there on the pistol, coming up through stairs, but also applying pressure towards mid.
Pressure this time, of course, from that scout, but misses its shot. I gotta say, I feel really bad for Elige. I mean, he had to play, you know, the communication was there for Liquid, clearly telling him there's a smoke kit behind you, go get it. We've seen plenty of smoke defuses in the last few days. That one definitely could have been yet another, but listen, it slides by. And with their buy, Team Liquid are still standing strong. They haven't actually used these utilities early. They've got these boosts set up inside a short. So Stewie waits for his verse victim. And Fallen and Fur are going to come down here at the exact same time. He hits the headshot, but doesn't get the kill. And then poor Twist is chased, hunted down by the Brazilians. Nap unable to get anything. And hot damn MIBR just exploding with ferociousness into this B-bomb site. TRK clearing Nitro from the water. And then we start to see that scout do damage. But a little too little, a little too late.
Elige has been not himself recently. He's had performances that are up and down. Versus Chaos, he kind of struggled to find himself. Versus Furia, he did okay. He did pretty good. But in general, there's more red than there is black in his most recent matches. If we compare that to a month or 2 before. And I think that's what has shined a light on his inconsistency. The frags are there, but not superstar level performances on a consistent basis. For oh, excuse me. I just choked. versus lower tier teams. I just ate oatmeal and I got an oat in my throat.
Man's got oats in his throat.
Oats in my throat.
You all right? Take a sip of water, my friend. Take your time. We want you back at, 100%. Please don't die on broadcast. Break. All right, I'm gonna have to. That would really put the pressure on me. Don't be so selfish.
You've done a lot of solo casting in your life. I'm sure you can handle it. I would
more than likely so. But speaking of getting handled, hey, Team Liquid try to go forward with their minimal pistols, understandably cut down. So MIBR not only getting their first, converting very strongly in the second, but now just making mincemeat of Elige's teammates. He does find a little bit of timing behind them, but the timing still favors MIBR as they'll circumvent any last threat and move over towards that B site.
I think I just coughed a lot on the mic. I think I realized I was supposed to mute the Google Hangouts. I apologize to everybody at home listening. I only muted Discord there for a second. But yeah, we got Elige now alone again, looking for a kill if he can find it. On Overpass, we saw, I think, Team Liquid play against Chaos on this map, and
Yeah.
I think they ended up actually losing, if I'm not mistaken. They
You are
were
correct.
16-13 versus Chaos on Overpass, which was quite a surprise because Liquid are obviously a much more seasoned team than Chaos on Overpass. They play it as one of their primary maps versus Astralis in their BO3s, so they've had a lot of the last year playing Overpass at a high level, and obviously the map hasn't changed much. But yeah, it's been a string of nothing but surprising results for Team Liquid. Just trying to pile onto that statistic.
Ouch. That was a strong double Molotov there. Fallen, he extinguished the first one, but still loses half his health. I think that, it's important to remember that with the Chaos upset versus Liquid on Overpass, a lot of that hinged on the entry fragging success of Jonji. And if we look to the entry fragger of MIBR, Taco, you can criticize his individual play. It's definitely there for you if you want to pick that fruit. But he has had one of his most successful maps of like the last year and a half just in the last few days. So MIBR, we've seen signs of life from them.
Mm-hmm. Every
Whether
once in a while, Taco gets 30 kills. I know what you mean. The thing is with Taco is like he has put himself into like an irreplaceable position with all the spots that he plays across all maps. On top of how well he knows the MIBR system, Stewie was one of the best options to fill in the gaps when it came to Taco, and that's why the team was very successful with Stewie on it. But without him or Stewie, there's not really anybody else that's going to play all the small sites in the same positions that Taco will play. On top of being one of the more hard supports in the game.
Sometimes it's easy to forget that Stewie and Tarek played for the Brazilians. But here we have them pushing out through the bathrooms. They've lost their player over on long A, and this is definitely going to help Team Liquid as they double up on the long presence and have another man right behind the dice box. So calling out this execution from MIBR, really stacking the bomb site, but regardless, they are left into that even 2v2. Elige alone, he has to reload, and he gets that fresh mag in, Fur peeks the smoke and falls because of it. What can KNG pull off here? He is 5-1, and he's gotten the flank already. He cuts Twists down at the knees. Elige with 3 and a frag on his back. He's going to try and walk forward here. KNG goes for the peek and loses out in the clutch. That's Team Liquid on the board.
So smart from Elige, and I think he actually uses him spraying through the smoke and using every bullet of his mag to bait out a peek to get him a kill. It gave him a better chance to get that first kill than if he were to just stand there, because nobody's going to come around the smoke to fight him straight on. And him being and him anticipating that on top of getting this initial frag is what ties up this round and makes this 1v1 really easy, as KNG is so low. So Fur falls right into his trap, and then he baits KNG out. He draws him out as he goes and takes the peek for himself. So Elige looking kind of very on top of things at the moment. Prescient, aware, fast, and even you can see the decision making on that pistol round. He's really kept making decisions quickly.
Yeah, this is the second round now where that second Molotov from Liquid in Playground is slowing down the default. This time, we saw Fallen run through it once and lose 50 HP, but this round they completely stutter step. They hold. Curious to see if they keep messing around with MIBR's timings. Remember, you said Elige looks good. That's because at the start of this round, he had 8 kills when the rest of Liquid had 3 frags combined. It's a good showing if you can at least have one player put that strong first step forward, but stepping forward towards mid is MIBR. Around the Molotovs, outside of the bathrooms. Nitro, one of the sickest offers when it comes to locking down these A angles on Overpass. Big fan, big fan. Not a frequent boost, but hey, his elbow's sticking out. Doesn't seem to have been caught, however. So follow-up smoke, and Nitro's still patient. Flashbang's really revealing the presence. They decide to go through smoke into Elige. He chews him up, spits him out, and Fallen? through the smoke headshot. This is a bit incredible. Starting to kind of make something happen at this A site, despite the initial aggression being completely turned away. Stewie 2K, back by Dumpster. This has enabled Nitro to push forward down to the bathroom, so it's not as though he's actually exposed to the site. They may just happily play the 3v2 retake, but they lose a player on the other side. 8 seconds, they're gonna have to plant. Nitro, wallbang through the box. That's huge. Still a chance for the plant. Yes, KNG's gonna get this in. And Nitro now having to clutch out the 1v1. Swapping over to the AK really quickly. KNG uses the flash to fall back. He could wrap through bank if needed, but it seems like he'll hold the stairs.
Only a flash to his name. So Nitro is going to have a tough time trying to draw out KNG. There's a chance that KNG can get the first bullet in on this fight.
Bomb's going to get tapped there. Nitro, he's just sticking this ice in his veins. Get clutched on. Nitro, easy day in the office, walks away unscathed, making that look way too simple.
Well, that's nice. That's a really big read by Nitro. We saw him on Mirage yesterday trying to pull off a defuse, or maybe a day or two ago, trying to pull off the defuse, holding on to it a bit too long. But this time KNG just, doesn't bite at all. It's perfect for Nitro. Would have been a very tough round for him to lose. It's obviously the health that is the most important factor of all of it. That's what influences a player to lean towards not peaking. And that's also, that knowledge is also what allows Nitro to be more confident about sticking the bomb. The reverse Zika Jinx. MIBR have played Liquid on Overpass 5 times since the org change and lost every single time. NAF has 118 kills in those 5 maps.
Big, that's huge.
That's amazing.
Looks like there's a chance that Elige drops the big bombs today. So far, so good from him. 10-4. But everybody else from Liquid is starting to crank it up a notch as well. Good deep grenade early on to soften TRK.
Skimming through Elige's previous results this year, this map that he played on versus Chaos on Overpass was one of his weakest performances of the entire year. So here is the redemption arc, another chance on Overpass versus maybe a better team.
Completely one-pronged assault here on A. Elige starts to lose a little bit of health, man. He is uncomfortable in this position, but still able to get that first kill. NAF down immediately now. Nitro off from long, also denied. Good play here from Taco, really ensuring that the bomb plant can happen as they also throw another member on top of the dice box. So just full control of the bomb site in a very chaotic situation. Can Twist and Stewie throw a wrench in the works? Look at MIBR, they are gone. They're all the way back in T-spawn. The closest player is Taco, and he doesn't even have line of sight next to that bomb, so Fallen's gonna have to get this done. Luckily, for MIBR, Team Liquid don't just express defuse in that situation. But hey, everybody's called back. Molotov comes in, there's the insurance policy. In the end, it's all too easy, but there was that split-second moment where you saw MIBR nearly crap their pants.
Yeah, it was a situation where there's not enough nades for the retake, and if they had some more nades, they could have potentially gone for it. At least tried to take MIBR's numbers down. Elige does work getting this first kill, and Nitro tries to help. The nades that land beside him do some damage and allow Taco to win this trade despite Nitro hitting him for the first 2 bullets. So that Molotov, he stood in a little bit, took him down some HP. Imagine if Nitro gets that kill on Taco, retains long control, and can spam down the bomb planter, or just deny the bomb plant for a few more seconds while they deal with him. Then the rotations come in, and they may not need as many nades as they didn't have on the retake attempt. And also the man advantage over that. So now they're back on pistols. Twist the only one to save his M4. They have kind of picked the right half of the map. MIBR outside of Monster. But immediately the rifle goes down.
Somebody there to take the place, though. This is still very much a trap and a half. Team Liquid, lots of bodies inside of short. MIBR going to try to sprint in through Monster, but hell, Liquid's still able to get back into position. The Brazilians actually kind of cool it off a bit. Want to make sure that they employ the utilities they have at their favor. A deep water position from Elige is checked. There's a world where Stewie connects the spam, and yes, sir, there she is. He's going to go ahead and move back around Monster as Nitro is already done. Taco comes to check this. Crisp first headshot, but now Taco pins still between two CTs. Stewie trying to get out is turned back around, and Nap never had a chance. He's been on this USP since the get-go. Taco doing good work here in the anti-eco. It was a round where Liquid definitely flustered the T's, but unable to actually rob the round.
Taco, he won that shoulder peak game versus Nitro. Nitro played it very passive. I think he was waiting for a teammate to come back through short to take line of sight behind him, to either die first so he wins the trade, or maybe catch Taco if the peak is too wide. But Taco is laser sharp with the amount of space that he gave and how tight he came into the angle. So there was no chance there for Nitro to live. Taco with the 3 kills definitely saves the round. I also really liked how Fur changed his nade trajectory upon seeing Elige cross into the back of pit. First, it was off to short. Smoke went on to short to make sure no one else could go through. When he spotted Elige, he was aiming at the back of pit, but then decided to bounce it off in case Elige came up to play headshot, landed right on him. Made it a lot easier to take out Elige as well.
Big old buy back in. MIBR wanting to get into that short control. Look at the Molotovs here. 4 of them. 2 per team. Taco keeping an eye on that boost. Always a looming threat. But they'll hope to crack open this site with a quick entry. Gotta be cautious. There's Twist and Stewie on the other side of this one. They tried to actually get themselves extended over towards Monster, and it cost them the opening kill. 5v4 for MIBR.
Strong position. Not even losing that much HP on Taco. Still retains his nades. Still a threat. Liquid split the defense on the A site. Look for another point of attack. Fallen, waiting, praying for this moment to come, and it comes soon. There's still a minute left up. 5v3 already, and Fallen can now start to wrap on long, but he's got a first target. Adjust very quickly, but Nitro ends up taking him out. Now he's all alone. He needs to do this all by himself. He gets a good spray down. In a 2v3 situation, it's obviously better than a 4v2, but are his teammates in a good spot to deal with this?
Ouch, that one's gonna sting. Naf tries to round the bathroom's corner, and he dies to KNG, who may we just take a moment to appreciate. 11-4 right now. One of the 3 Brazilians that definitely stepped up yesterday to avoid the upset versus Chaos. KNG, Fallen, and Fur were really the namestakes. Elige kind of cooling off a little bit, still stuck at that 11 frag count, but his teammates still nowhere near him, and not going to be made any easier by the fact that Liquid are relegated back to the Pistols. Now, they do have 4 players on this connector door, 2 of which inside, 1 of which thrown down already. For Mac-10 making cash and making more space for these T's to keep adding up the rounds. They are most certainly looking at a 7-2 lead.
Yeah, almost definite. Now, Taco is making plays. And we saw how he was the catalyst of the last rounds, working by himself up short to win a duel versus Liquid. That's one of the most embarrassing deaths that you can suffer on the B site. But I mean, it just really sucks when you know someone would be peeking short. You could win that if you were aware of it. Oh, okay, hold on. We've got a play being made in the process by the CTs. Oh, another P250 kill would really shake things up. Stewie's alone in the 1v3. There's 3 players who are low. One swings into his crosshair. He gets that first kill. Can't do the spray transfer on the pixel peak at the corner of the top of bathrooms. But what if he did?
Awesome try. Awesome attempt there from Stewie. I mean, you see the spray down. He was thinking that a second player was going to peek through that side stairs, but appreciate this. Gets the hot swap onto the AK. Thinks that maybe another comes through, or even going for the wall bang. But hey, TRK gives him, as you said, a pixel perfect peak to play against. And it's just a little too much to handle. So Nitro back in with his AWP. Team Liquid on the full buy. And Elige trying to dunk those grenades downtown, but misses the mark. As we have MIBR getting that fountain control. But they have to be careful because we've seen Nitro more passively positioned back towards bathrooms, maybe inside of that A-bomb site, really allowing for them to set up their execute and make him uncomfortable with their utility before they peek. Hey, he is just straight up posted on long,
oh my
but
God.
That's not where the first fight unfolds. It's actually Taco to catch Twists through Monster yet again.
Can you believe Taco right now? He's actually working the B site, which is obviously his home on the CT side, all by himself every single round. First short, then long with just an AK. This is a angle that you can be susceptible to ops. You don't normally take fights down this range. You might try to lurk out, but not from back here where Taco is. This is nuts that he's able to get these kills. They've got to be kicking themselves right now.
Then, of course, that second kill offered over because once Twist goes down, Nitro, who is very passively positioned on long, tries to extend into the peak, hoping to catch somebody, maybe trying to set up nades towards bathrooms. Instead, we had Fallen hard scoped on him, and it all falls apart. But at this moment, for a moment, it looked like they were trying to split into that B site. And had they not been ensured by TRK that A site was open and that they should definitely come rotating over, then there's a world where they walk into the landmine of NAF and Stu. But they've dodged it, and MIBR will certainly take their 8th. So a 6-round lead already on this T side of Overpass.
You know, one thing I would like to look at is not just how many times a 5v4 turns into a round win for the team that made it 5v4, but how many times a 5v4 has turned into a 5v3, where whenever Liquid have looked for a trade, they end up losing that frag as well. Sometimes it's a very decent 50-50. There was times where Fallen would peek long with an op, and you could say that's MIBR all day. But right there in Stairs, there is somebody looking for a duel in the CTs and somebody coming up on the T side by himself. They can't win that. And it just goes from bad to worse. And it feels like there's just not enough fight in the roster to keep up on a 1v1 basis. That is an amazing flash. They actually call out Twist position. One of his favorite spots, by the way. He's often there. So they just pick a right round to try that tactic. And yeah, he's sitting there waiting for them to peek.
Tell me if you feel the same, but I have this feeling that Twist has been bullied on that B site from the start of this. Okay. Hold on. Elige getting blind deagle kills. That's a hell of a way to start this off. But what we've seen from MIBR is anytime they have any kind of adversity in these sorts of advantageous rounds, they just kind of slow things down, go through the motions, make sure they use that utility to minimize the second chance for Liquid. But hell, good start from Elige connecting the Deeg headshot.
Let's see if they can squeeze water from Stone and pull off this eco round.
There's a lot of bodies close and a second for free. 100 HP on everyone for Liquid until NAF has to spend a bit to get another kill, but that's huge. TRK and Fallen, 2 versus 4. And Elige, the booby trap in mid. He has a chance where he can even find Fallen, the grandfather of Brazilian Counter-Strike. 45 seconds for him to try and work this. He even has to get that bomb back. So as long as the CTs go for their peaks appropriately, time it all well, they should die. But hey, there's a chance here. Fallen swapping back to the op, loses out versus NAF. Team Liquid, this is kind of a second chance for them, a blessing even, as they use the Deagles to rob back around. They are still trailing by 5. They still have glaring issues here on Overpass, but it definitely helps when you can just get a cheeky round like this.
For their confidence, they're probably going to look at it as their last chance this half, where they pull off a round like that, they get a small boost of confidence. They don't win this rifle round now, or they lose it in the same fashion that they have been. I mean, they're just right back to square one, maybe even worse. They're like, well, how can we win an eco and not pull off a rifle? Ludicrous mechanics. Twist has a 66.9% headshot rating in the last 6 months. Second on the server is Taco with 53.7. Wow, good for you, Taco. That's actually the 53% headshot is pretty insane. 66 is obviously one of the most insane that I've ever heard. I
would like to compare that to the peak of Scream. You know?
Yeah.
What was his highest 6
Oh my god,
average?
I thought you had that on hand because that's what I was thinking of.
Would that have been right?
Yeah.
No, I don't have answers, just questions.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I would like to see that too. I mean, Scream's had some absolutely absurd. I mean, he's had games with finishing like 30 kills, 100% headshot rate. I mean, he is
the machine.
Yeah, it's true.
Doo-doo. Twist's not going to be extending over towards Monster. Again, going back to my earlier point that Liquid so rudely interrupted. that he has been very much counteracted by the utility from MIBR. Taco has been pressuring him through Monster, and more often than not, it's been favoring the T side. So a little bit more spam damage being thrown back and forth here through the wooden portions of the walls. Nobody actually trying too hard for short, but KNG now starting to get a little bit closer. He could just tuck himself in, and this will anchor a huge portion of map control.
You know, sadly for Team Liquid, we haven't seen a 5v5 that goes late into the round, so this might be nice for them. Just force MIBR to at least try to execute after denying them the opportunity to get kills.
Here it comes. At least the volley of mollies and flashbang starts it off.
Wow,
Taco,
man.
big headshot. And he's looking for another one.
Bro.
Nails it. Stewie's removed. There's a world where he predicts this one, but just off the mark. Still, it all allows for this, the A play. Nitro gets the scope up and actually clips Fallen despite him being on the back line. Bomb plant in with just mere seconds to spare. Excellent call here from MIBR. This T side's looking hot and heavy, and I feel like Team Liquid are just outclassed at the moment, but Twist tries valiantly to round that corner. Again, just pushed off the bomb site. They took that B fake, hook, line, and sinker.
This is becoming Taco's map. That's so nuts. Yeah, he's looking like a world-class entry fragger versus Team Liquid. Naf going down, Stu going down, individual pieces, untradeable spots. And Stewie's got the advantage peeking into Taco that second time around, knowing that he's there. Nafli knew he's been there in the past. They still can't stop him.
Leash fades away, and this is a new look for MIBR. I can't recall a round where we saw so many players up long this early. Trying to pick up the pace, but Nitro ready for it. If they had caught him aggressed towards the top of bathrooms, then there's definitely a world where he plucks one and falls back behind cover, but they had that false sense of confidence. It was all clear until it wasn't.
Well, they stand tall over the side of the bathrooms to try to give him a chance to get a kill. It appears to be a dangerous spot. You know, that can be flash aggressed by the T's, but Alish does not really want to let this advantage slip, even though they do already have KNG. Doubled up on the bathrooms, 3 on A. They're in a very good spot to hold versus any kind of attack.
Definitely hears this just on the other side, and Nitro combat opping with success. Underhand flashbang makes things a little bit weird here. He will find that opper, but Alish is still behind him, unbeknownst to him. He was the last man standing too, so tough one for MIBR, but Team Liquid, little breath of life here at the end of the first half. They are working with a minimal round count. Getting that fourth one is crucial, but I would argue following up with a 5th or 6th is even more important.
Yeah, I agree, because otherwise it feels like they're basically conceding the map. But if you get the 5 and 6, they can kind of mentally get back into it. It just the things that MIBR have gotten with this half make you
slightly better than Twists. Scream in 2015 posted an obscene, I like the rhymes, 68.4% headshot rate, and in 2014 it tipped over 70%. That man is a cyborg, and you can't convince me otherwise.
And that's comparing 1 year to 6 months, right?
True.
I think Twist
right, yeah,
months,
even more.
It makes that stat even stronger. You know, that's how good he was.
Mackerel.
He's treated us to some of the most amount of amazing frag clips that we've ever seen. So cheers to you, Scream.
Ain't no headshot like a Scream headshot. Hey, this is something we haven't seen. MIBR actually coming in without a full buy. Finally relegated down to the halvesies of Tech-9s, Deagles, and a P250. Good, or at least decent pieces of utility with it. Naf's going to get a little bit of info there. He definitely spotted one inside of Con. Gets the confirmation that, yeah, they're there.
You didn't just say the confirmation, did you? The confirmation. There we go.
Confirmation confirmed. Oh, yeah.
Shoulder can be a bit too much. Yeah, he can post up on now his more favorite path angle within the site. Ooh, okay, Fallen's a bit wider than he expected.
Always good for one, it seems, that off, but wow, Taco just so on point. So many bodies line up here. Stewie's ready to get the assists, looking to clean them up, but it's a Deagle pinch, and here comes Twist back in from behind. Fallen 2 kills in the round, and he's going to be gunning for a third if he wants to clutch this, but first, he needs that bomb, and Twist's not going to let his eyes off of it, keeping him pinned in behind the boxes. The moment Fallen rounds his corner, he's going to need a really quick headshot. And I mean, look at Twist's cover. Ooh, he goes for the smoke play. Steals it.
Goes out.
Yeah. And Twist is now just going to walk in to shut it all down. He crawls into the bomb site and gets himself into the mix. That's huge for Twist. His 6th kill of the map, tying now with Naf at the bottom of Liquid's scoreboard. But hell, nicely done here by Fallen and Taco. This headshot right there versus Nafly really created the space, and then it put the pressure on the rest of the CTs. You could see them kind of trying to hold back everyone while they flooded through the site.
Yeah, we can see the power of MIBR if Taco's on point, just aim-wise. He clearly loves to be aggressive and play some of these forward positions and take some of these untradeable duels. He just doesn't always hit his shots, but here we can see he's got it in him. And we know that he's not only been capable off short B, off monster, but also on A 2 rounds now. He's made a very important trade or sacrifice in almost all parts of the map.
Great grenade damage.
Another
Trying to
entry.
finish off this half with a 6th round for Team Liquid. Twist and Nap doing a solid job of locking out the pistols. Fallen yet again with the Deagle. Individually, he's been on point, and so has Liquid in these last few rounds. They're able to close out with as many as they could grab. Again, closing a half with a few extra that maybe help you believe. Folks, don't go too far. We'll be back with the second half after the break.
The countdown's running slow. We're coming off the best of times with nowhere to go. No bright lights for the future, only frozen rain. Trying to ignite a revolution, some things never gonna change. Don't let it get the best of us. I fight for what you know. Let the world bet against us, but we'll be getting close. The time is running out tonight, so let's go. So let's go. Crying eyes try to look away, but we're no good at pain. The same old mess we always seem to make, clean it up again. A metal heart with a black key, it could be good as gold. But in your head, a voice is screaming, we'd be better off alone. Don't let it get the best of us. I fight for what you know. Let the world bet against us, but we'll be getting close. The time is running out tonight, so let's go. Chasing the future, let's go. So we don't sing alone. Don't let it get the best of us. I fight for what you know. Let the world bet against us, but we'll be getting close. The time is running out tonight, so let's go.
Okay, Connor just said that a duck is like a giraffe, except its head is not that far away.
long-necked creatures. Listen. You guys don't need to get into this. What we need to get into is the second half of Team Liquid versus MIBR. Trailing by 3 rounds, Team Liquid take to the offensive. And it looks like they're going to try pretty quickly to get their footing over here on this B bomb site. They actually catch 2 of the CTs inside of short, playing with their grenades. 3 headshots coming out of Liquid. That's a great way to start off the pistol. You can see how it's already scared Fur and Taco back, because if they have any chance at winning this round, they're going to have to recalibrate and come in with some pretty quick kills. He sees just the tip of someone's noggin.
This is where you just pretend you're retaking, I think. You're like, well, if you come in and hand me a 3K, then maybe we'll talk. But other than that, I'm probably just gonna slowly work on saving while I pretend to stick around. So you stay close to the bomb, so I could maybe get a kill. But yeah, it's good to have. Man, we got another 6-9.5, dude. There's been so many of these, and they've always been late stage comebacks by the team who are losing. They look like they're going to get stomped, and they at least figure it out later on. It's another half this tournament where Liquid have a slow start. They look competent at some point in the half, but have way too slow of a start to justify losing all those rounds, and then they end up losing the game because of it. Their margin, their round difference in this tournament is the best amongst the teams who have lost so far, but that's because of these unwarranted slow starts. If they had just kind of figured things out earlier on in some of these games, they probably would have been taking the wins as well. Because they just come into it, get good late, and lose by a small margin.
Just got to be better faster.
Yeah, just got to be better faster.
Simple as that.
I hate to mansplain it to them, but it's like it just makes you wonder what the cause is of it.
A little bit of utility play from Liquid here into the B site, trying to fluster some of MIBR. Trying to shake them up. Trying to shake them down. Double smoke and a frag still for MIBR.
We're on their
Could
pockets.
Be very successful at slowing down a short hit.
Well, the longer you take, the more curious Fur will get.
Oh, good point. Yeah, he's already rounding that long corner, and he's going to find it completely open. So this really does justify the 3 players on the B site for MIBR.
He just has to clear bathrooms before they can fully rotate out. But yeah, 3 still here.
They get the short player first. Twist's ump is already, however, in position. 3-piece as he tippity taps with that 25 bullet mag. Goes down into the water to try and lock down the post plant. Just that 1 casualty on Stewie, but hey, he got the job done. You can see the way that the CTs had their attention turned for Twist, really enabled his pickups here in this second round of the second half. So Fur walks away again, like you said, making it look like you're retaken, but really for the save. He's got that deagle to hang on to.
Liquid were pretty well balanced on Overpass versus Chaos when it came to their T side. Tension to A, tension towards B. Some monster contact rushes, some full executes towards A site. I think a fake or 2 involved as well. So reading their T side before it happens will be quite difficult. I think they have their options open, but I have talked about in the past how, one of the biggest trials for Liquid on their T side of Overpass is dealing with B executes because of how strong they are with the correct grenades, and specifically the correct flashes. There have been a number of clips of people versus Astralis that have been sitting in the site somewhere that have been flashed for nearly 10 seconds straight because of the continuation flashes that can come from short and monster. And I'm sure Liquid have studied this to a T and probably want to incorporate it into their game. I expect to see some shades of that when it comes to their B takes, and I'd like to see more kind of proactivity towards this side of the map as opposed to A. And here we already have some pressure outside of monster.
Yeah, Liege gonna be the ooh baby. Twists through the smoke, lines up Taco, and this B site's gonna get real messy. Liege, as you said, already kind of out from monster, was so ready to hit this bomb site. And that's the thing, it's like Liege was trying to serve as the trigger for the execute, but that smoke spam is really what just comes out of nowhere and serves as the saving grace. Didn't mean Liege actually had to take a straight up duel. They were already working the man advantage, and it's nearly a team ace. If they were to let Stewie get one, they'd have it done and dusted. KNG 17 HP, CZ in hand, and Naf's gonna drop him with a pistol of his own. So Team Liquid straight into the second half, tie up the game, 3 rounds to start their T side, and it's 9 apiece.
I think a defining factor of this game so far has been that Elige has picked up his form for this map and is standing high above his stats already for the last time they played on Overpass. But then, conversely, Taco has also started punching way above his weight and was a nemesis on their T side. So we'll see if that continues on in a CT side for both of these players. And if it's only one, I would expect to see that team lead because they both were kind of the critical components of the rounds won in that first half. Lots of great damage here done to the man in question, Taco, as well as his good friend TRK. Liquid swing in here above the stairs, around the bathrooms, and look to apply pressure to A.
They're keeping things simple. They've grouped really nicely these last few rounds, and this one's no different. Lots of bodies for Liquid here outside of the bathrooms. Fallen fully flashed. Not going to stop him from getting the first kill, but Nitro so quickly moving forward there. Did not want his op to get on cycle. Stewie executes Taco with his head turn. So this is a 10th for Team Liquid. They're the first team to hit the double digits. And this T side, I've seen no weaknesses out of it yet.
It's pretty much a perfect round in a lot of ways. They get the unconfirmed damage on the B site. They're able to hold for the flank, rotate on stairs. They get the initial 2-for-1 trade on the A site, and so the players left over are either hurt or in bad rotational spots, and they don't give MIBR a lot of time to get into position as well. This is the kind of round you'd like to have go. This is the kind of round you'd like to be able to see on the T side over and over again. It's obviously not going to be the case, but it's a nice sign for Team Liquid.
How about a parting gift? Yes, sir. KNG gets something, and no one's going to get him unrooted from this deep corner. They can try. They tried to intimidate him, but hey, I think KNG is going to be fine with that. Look at this lineup, though. Nitro kind of being gifted the second kill. Hey,
yeah, the flash
2-for-1 special.
Yeah, the flash to provoke the reposition, right? They made Fallen jump back, put him in an awkward spot, followed up by staying nice and tight on the spacing. And they earned themselves the eco. Back to stairs here for Team Liquid. They'll push up hard. They've got Stewie holding for pushes outside B, trying to draw out utility. Listen to see if there's any kind of force up, if there are multiple rifles on the map. But not looking to over-aggress or overextend in any fashion. They're doubling up on stairs to make sure there's a trade in case there's a stack. So it's one of the most notorious positions to play with multiple people on the CT side. Elige will help with a Molotov as they start to walk up.
That'll confirm to Team Liquid that they have near the entire map to play around with. But keep your eyes on MIBR. They're not falling into these sites themselves, rather walking forward here on Bathroom. So they're just going to call out Team Liquid's presence. They're just going to look for the clash. And Fur, if he could land a scout shot, that'd be fantastic. But he gets too pressured and cannot get away in time. They start to unravel this bathroom trap as well. Fallen and KNG so tagged up. Nafly, he's not afraid of shit. Just runs right in and destroys them all. TRK, nowhere to be found. That's an 11th round for Team Liquid.
Yeah, TRK won't be able to retake this. And they only had the rifle to work with, but another solid round here for Team Liquid. Solid anti-eco. You know, just to talk about that in general, again, it's fleshing out the stair stack. You have an advantage if you know what to expect. Playing back on stairs, making sure they can't do aggressive peeks, and then making them recede into the passive positions that are pretty useless from range. The reason you do want to clear out the stairs is because no matter what site you pick, there are going to be a fast rotate to kill some of your most important post-plant players if it does come down to that, and if there is some kind of hero play that's made on another part of the map. So although it's a bit scary to get into the stairs, it is important to try to make sure the CTs don't feel comfortable playing there, or at least killed if you can find them. Also, those players technically, ultimately, don't have a way to be traded out. So if you close in safely with enough time on the clock, you really lose nothing by eliminating them as well.
Whoa, this one's quick. Team Liquid not wasting any time versus the full buy. Taco and KNG both dying to Stewie. Hard entry coming out of that monster. It was the full 5-man B rush. I love it. coming into the gun round 2, you know, finally MIBR thinking that they're going to have some sort of a stance to hold, and they hesitated for nothing. I mean, again, Taco, he knew he had been mollied out, but he was still trying to extinguish the fire by the time Stewie comes running around.
Such an open site to just throw flashes. And you can be, it's a real creative sandbox when it comes to your utility coming into the B site. You're a bit more limited from just the monster side, but you combine that with the fast timing. And if MIBR don't have the correct spawn or don't have enough utility or don't feel like you're going to rush, will not throw that much utility at monster, and just missing that one Molotov or not throwing a grenade or not having a flash pop before you throw yours, then it's going to be over in the blink of an eye. We saw how easy it was for Stewie when he got that first kill to get the second. The second player was still very blind.
You didn't even get to throw
I didn't even see Stewie. Yeah.
Boom. And KNG as well, kind of flashed in the process. So combination of incredibly quick pace and some very well thrown flashbangs. Just solid set piece from Team Liquid. Does knock MIBR down a peg, but at least it's not one of those situations where the Brazilians have to come back in with pistols or save in one of those moments. No, they will still have their buy. Sure, there's a FAMAS on the board, but so be it. 3 rounds the difference now. Team Liquid, 12-9. They have so much money in their bank accounts as well. 3 players over the $10,000 mark.
6 rounds in a row here for Team Liquid. Nice shot there from Fallen. And no matter how much pressure has been put on Fallen, he's always found a way to get a kill. And anytime that it's a round going towards that, he has been very, very good. So that's a good opening 5v4. Now we saw that Team Liquid, when they went down 4v5, it almost always ended up going down 5v3. Is that going to be the case here? They're going to be able to find a way to answer back. Taco tagged on his way back into pit. But yeah, they're in very passive spot. The NAF gets activated once again.
Twist through smoke to find KNG, who is again posted up on that graffiti corner. Last round it's Stewie, this time it's NAF. And I was thinking to myself, great little, shift up from Taco, as opposed to trying to stand inside of the Molotov and extinguish it. He jumps back into the water, completely changing his position. Very freshly remembering that he was gunned down in the round prior. So even that isn't enough, because NAF finds a different routing through the defense. KNG previously was trying to pry down from graffiti to hold that back, but it seemed like he was pressured too, a little flustered by the utility and pace from Liquid. It wasn't a sprint out of the spawn like the round previous, but it was still going from 0 to 100 real quick.
It's hard for Taco to explain what happens there, because he tries to make the best decision, but he basically gives up ground for free in a round where Liquid are not going to slow down, and also gives up the position he wanted to play initially. So once again, like we saw when Fallen got flashed off and had to fall back and got double sprayed down, the same thing with Taco here. He jumps back from his position. Liquid know there's always somebody back pit, and when they get flashed, they always get attracted to the wall as the primary piece of cover, so then they end up performing a perfect lineup for them as well, because nobody is spotted back sandbags like we saw last rounds, and then the double spray down comes in. Great continuation flashes once again. Really good tight spacing to make sure they applied the pressure and kept it on before the flashes ran out their usefulness. And MIBR now have this huge problem of not coming anywhere close to stopping these monster execs.
Right.
And they're
Again,
probably
flashbangs.
positive. They're probably positive that Liquid are not going to try that 3 rounds in a row, but still have to worry about it, and will probably give them a couple of free pieces of utility just to make sure.
Yeah, they go for that early 4-man stack down at the B site. Taking away short control would be a great way to limit the success of Liquid, and Fallen gets the scope up just in the nick of time. There were a couple of players waiting for him, Twists being one of which. Fallen, I love it. Hits them through the short pipe, gets the 5v4, readjusts to the depths of Monster, and almost beckons them inwards. Come on, try it again.
Yeah.
But don't forget that last round was also the 4v5 when Liquid shifted the win.
For playing an important position, we see the rotations now coming in for the CTs because he's heard a footstep outside of bathrooms. It's scary because he needs to play close up for this info. Oh, but he gets the support as well from the rotation. Double kill from his spot.
That's a big one. Cuts it down to just 2 players for Liquid. Elliot just brought up that stat about Fallen's successful flashing. And he is the one who succeeds in helping Fur. Now, Fallen is going to get pressured off, and KNG is going to start to activate the flank, just missing out on killing Nafly. Naf turns back for the duel, wins it, and Elige picks up a headshot of his own. What do you know? A second through bank. That disgusts me. But low health, and TRK is going to come winding around through the bathrooms. If he finds Back's turn, these should be easy pickings. He gets that first one confirmed, takes down the player behind it. So he knows Nap's there, but Nap with solid cover and an even more solid headshot. Team Liquid still win the 4v5 2 rounds in a row.
4v5, they won that 4v2. I think, yeah, they had, because Fur got 2. They got the opening kill with Fallen as well, and then they 2v4'd them coming on to the fight.
4v5 to the 2v4, and they still walk away with it.
Man, that's unforgivable, of course. You know, Fur, he's got to be so pissed off.
Oh, wow, this is just going to be a fast one, though. I like it. MIBR, it's not Fallen peeking down short pipe, but rather a little connector control. I think that Fur saw the opening there because last round he was alone towards bathrooms and there was absolutely nothing coming out of Liquid. So they decide to get aggressive, take their connector, get their first kill, and walk away. They sort of have to. It cost them one of their own, and Fallen's also susceptible, seeing as he sits on 46.
Middle of the map control here taken by the T's. Supporting grenades go out to clear the outside of bathrooms. Unclear for MIBR if it is towards A or if this is just a default, where they mull around, make sure no one can push. KNG will be stuck behind the smoke, and once it comes up, maybe we'll get line of sight. Don't know if they'll push, but they might be able to use the information. TRK hasn't used this spot, so yeah, it's going to catch him off. Nitro, 1-for-1 trade, not so bad, but Taco's there immediately to pick up the slack.
Ooh, eating those flashbangs yet again. Successful. Taco gonna get called back into action here. Looks to lock down short and does so. MIBR. It took them a while. 8 rounds in a row for Liquid, but finally the CTs post a round. Taco hitting 20 kills at the very same time. So this was a big one for him, getting that monster kill and then just locking this off. A nice little lineup here towards short.
Yeah. So, you know, MIBR, they've gotten the first kill a couple of times. They had a good adjustment to deal with the monster pushes or any threat towards that by taking short control and even benefiting further versus the A take, but then losing a 2v4. In some sense, that's okay because they know the early round went so well. But now Liquid have gone back towards B, but this time trying to abuse towards short control. Happy to take the fight if MIBR wanted to push it, but they haven't decided to do it. Instead, it'll be delayed. They've made some noise. Yeah, now they'll actually fall back. This is Liquid's piece of the map now. They can lay claim to it, sit here, spam, and they also simultaneously are working on bathrooms, making a lot of progress for only being a minute 15 in the round.
Forced them to put out the fire, so KNG hyper aware of them being close. I mean, dude, somebody just jumped up into his sight. Stewie 2K just beneath him. If it wasn't for this giant wall, this man would be killing a couple players, but I mean, he's being teased. A carrot on a stick. Shredded at this point. Stewie 2K jumps unsuspectingly into his death. That guillotine had been set for him far sooner than he expected. Utility being thrown over towards short. Again, flashbangs, counter flashbangs, in fact, trying to prevent this execution. But Team Liquid, they've taken the barrels by storm. 2 players already over and more to join them from short, but KNG can't manage anything more than the one. Taco deep in from Graffiti. Again, denied by Twist, who's doing everything he can here. 39 health and a 1 versus 2 to clutch out on, but he's going to expose himself to short or not. He's still tucked in. Fallen's walking up on him, and he is so tunnel vision towards the heavens that now he knows. But there's the second threat over towards Graffiti. That should be enough. He sees it. 6 seconds. He has to commit to the plant or kill, and it comes down to 8 HP. The difference. MIBR with another.
He pulls off the pop-up. That was actually a really nice try by Twist. Holy smokes. They thought he had him for sure. The fake plans end up being the smart move. And they do so well to actually get this round close. Yeah, because MIBR's trades were good before they initiated the fight. But here's the call out once again. They try for the boost on sandbags to kill Stewie, and there's where you think there's one over on Liquid. But Liquid go, okay, you guys have 2 in the back of the site. That means Monster's weak once again. They push it right away and trade out favorably.
Pushing right away here in this 26th round too. Elige just flies past Party, catches MIBR again, trying to go for some sort of a connector presence. We saw them establish opening kills there in these last couple of rounds. It took 8 in a row from Liquid before MIBR could respond, and they barely, by the skin of their teeth, follow suit there. That last round was 100% Fur versus Twists. Fur gets 2 from the Heaven, Twists opens up the site, and then both those players tasked in the 1v1. Exhilarating couple of rounds we've had here, but as we hit the minute mark, things are starting to fall silent, and that bomb doubles back through spawn.
I really love this. I think, they've done enough work here at A. 4v4, if I'm Liquid, I'm taking B all day in this situation. I don't think just MIBR can justify an early third rotate unless it's a really hard read. Fallen would make that read sometimes, but it's really difficult right now for MIBR to justify it, and they know they have the support to trade out. They just haven't been able to do it thus far. So the double monster setup might be smart, but it really is going to come down to both TRK and Taco now individually.
Ooh, and that opens up short so wide for Team Liquid to arrive. I mean, again, if they come charging out through the monster, then that 2-man setup could do work, but they had no flash assist. You saw TRK become discomforted because of the execute from Liquid, and that works out perfectly. Like you said, a 4 versus 4, Team Liquid head B any day of the week, and you see why. Definitely helps that they had that split going for them, and it definitely helps that the short players came out first. This is a 15th for Team Liquid, 4 map points for them to close with.
MIBR have been keeping them in a vice grip by maintaining, getting the 5v4, trading out, whatever. But yeah, this round, they kind of get away with their default and trade out 1-for-1 on the opening. That's all they really need to go back to what they know works. Fallen gets a consolation frag. Well,
nice.
More than that, he saves the op where it's 15-11 and they have no money to buy any good guns. Basically, they're going to be able to drop 2 rifles. 2 people can armor up, and there'll be a couple of pistoling players without rifles if they want to do this properly.
Small note, but props to Fallen there. Even reading the counter Heaven boost from Team Liquid as they tried to take that op back. He was outnumbered, certainly not outgunned. Here we go. First map point for Liquid, and it seems like Nafly could be walking right into the totem pole here inside of Connector. And unfortunately for MIBR, not only are they being burned out of the bottom of this, but if they try and retreat, they are walking into the firing range. Naf, both headshots, just obliterates the con control, and now that one op that Fallen saved in the previous round, it's the only primary gun that MIBR will have to try and hold off in this 3v5. Dire straits, I'd say.
Yeah, they're about to close the book on this one. Pistol on the site. Taco, 20-20. Stellar first half. Even did good in some of the trades in the second half, but all that B pressure appeared to be a bit too much to handle. Nice 1D, though.
Yeah, tries to dodge the flash to get the deagle up for a second. Fallen, he's trying to move that off inwards, but he will have to clutch this huge 1 versus 4. He finds no more. It's Team Liquid 16